was a long one.
It was a long one. Hey, Chris, how are you doing? You were definitely not muted when you said that. Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That's my friend, other side, Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek. And apologies in advance. Gonna be a little shorter episode. I had something personal come up. Also, my house is in shambles because we are redoing the largest room in our house, which is terrifying. So don't ever do that. So my house is in shambles. New computer's not set up. Everything's ruined. But no, we'll be back to normal next week. Apologies, my fault. But we did want to put something out there. And so we're going to promote our panel at Planet Comicon in Kansas City on Saturday, April 23rd at 6 p.m. 6:30 p.m.
6:30.
6:30 p.m. You know what? Come in at 6 just to reserve your seat because it's gonna be a hot
Well, another,
commodity. It's gonna
another
be
panel will be going on before that, but
there's, or you could just sit and watch that panel. It's probably gonna be a great panel. I don't know what it is. I'm really excited to see what it is, just to see like what our
mm,
name
mm,
is next to. That's very exciting to me. Is to see. I want to see who's like above and below us, right adjacent in the what's it called, in the brochure. That's not the right word. In the program. That's a very big deal to me.
program listing,
Like, Chris, what if
panel
your
list.
name is like touching Kevin Conroy's name, or Adam
Oh my,
Savage? Or I'm an Adam Savage guy. I was pretty excited to see him. That would be
that
really
would
cool.
be yeah, it'd be amazing. Just on the
You
same page would be. Oh my gosh, it was on the same page.
you're in
Amazing.
the same piece of printed, like intentional, not accidental media as Kevin
Hmm.
Conroy. That's like a credit. That's
Yes.
like being in the same movie as
Ooh,
Kevin
yes.
Conroy, if you think about
Now,
it.
now I'm really hoping that that happens.
I'm really hoping it happens. It's not that we deserve it, but I want it to happen. But anyway, come hang out at our panel if you live in the Kansas City area, especially if you're going to Planet Comic Con anyway. We'll do some Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Legend of Korra trivia. We've got some. Chris has put together some really cool prizes, some door prizes, and some competition winner type prizes. And mostly it'll just be a really laid back excuse for Chris and I to say that we had a panel, which we're very excited about. So come hang out. And then, as our short episode for today, to kind of promote that, Chris, we thought we'd share some fun facts, some of our favorite Avatar The Last Airbender fun facts and Legend of Korra fun facts. Pardon me. And Chris, I don't know if you want to alternate back and forth. I assume you have more
Sure,
fun
let's
facts,
alternate.
so I'll
Yeah.
make you go
No,
first.
I just went with three.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, 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 cool,
Okay,
cool,
so
cool, cool.
my first fun fact is that Andrea Romano is the voice director slash voice casting director. Or Andrea Romano is absolutely legendary in cartoons and voice acting. She worked on Batman the Animated Series, Justice League, The Boondocks, countless other things that have like directly affected my life, had a huge influence on it. So I always thought it was really cool that she also worked on Avatar: Last Airbender. Just kind of put a little bit of that Batman DNA in there. And a lot of the voice actors always just applaud Andrea, how much it's just a joy to work with her and just how much of a true skill it is to be a voice director. I remember in the one of the podcast episodes, Janet Varney, not our podcast, in Brave the Elements, Janet
One of
Varney,
in
Andrea
our
Romano,
second favorite Avatar podcasts.
yeah, Jay Devari, Andrea Romano was on there, and Jay Devari was like, "You make me want to be a voice director," and I told you that, and then you're like, "You don't want to do what I do," but then she ended up being like, "You could do it, Jenna. You're great." And like, it's just she's like, if Brian and Mike are the dads of like Janet and Dante and all the voice actors, Andrea Romano is the mom.
That's beautiful. I love that. Chris, my first fun fact is that so growing up, this is gonna make my sound like my parents sound negligent, and they're not. They were good parents. I think that King of the Hill, when it first came out, it when people didn't know about it, when you just watch it, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't like scream raunchy out of the gate. It's so
Hmm.
dry that you have to actually
Yeah.
like sit down and watch an episode before you realize what kind of show it is. And so in my mind, it was like my first like raunchy-ish adult cartoon that I ever watched, and I love it. I love King of the Hill. I've probably seen it all through 3 times, maybe 4 times. And three of the most prominent names, maybe more. There's probably even more in there that I'm not even familiar with. The most prominent names in Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, Bryan, Mike, and Giancarlo were all played roles in the development and or creation at various points of King of the Hill. And again, first Sean's first like adult TV show, adult
Yeah,
cartoon TV
yeah.
show.
Before I get into my second fact, anyone out there would love to know you guys' facts. I also might be able to use these things for questions in our trivia contest because got to come up with those in the format. Anyway, my second fun fact is that I was part air nomad. That was like mind blowing when I read the Kyoshi novels. That was just such a really cool aspect of the character I didn't know about before, and it really explained the fans. Because even when I first watched Avatar, like Island of Kyoshi War is like one of the first episodes I watched, and I always thought I was confused because she had fans. I was like, oh, is this like the first time I was watching the show trying to grasp the world of it? I was like, oh, is this like another Airbender avatar before him? Someone's like, no, she's the Earthling. Like that doesn't make why she got fans sense in the show, and also just that connection to her with her mother. Um, it was so just so ingenious. I loved it.
It was a great twist. Like I did not expect it whatsoever, and it wasn't a big twist. It's not like the end of the plot type of twist. Just
Hmm.
like really solid, unexpected little middle piece that did play a big role. And yeah, I loved it. That's great. Uh, my second fun fact is a bonding story between my boss and I. My boss, nice lady, not into video games whatsoever, but she knows I am into video games and computers. And one day she came to me, she's like, Shawn, my daughter is going to college and she wants a laptop and she wants it to be able to do work, yes, but she also wants to be able to play this one specific game called Valorant. And Valorant is from Riot Games. And you know who else is from Riot Games? Is Aaron Ehas has done some work at Riot Games, and I honestly don't know if he is like a some kind of creative director or what his role in there is. A lot of these Riot Games things don't necessarily have really deep stories. They might have lore, but it's not like he's directing character stuff or for them, or maybe he is. I'm actually not sure, but I know he's played a pretty substantial role over the years at Riot Games, which is also responsible for League of Legends is easily their biggest one, and League of Legends has obviously spun off and created other media or other types of media. It's expanded its franchise, but Valorant is a currently pretty large game, maybe the second or third most popular game that they have made. And yes, it was a bonding moment for my boss and I. And I was able to tell her, I was like, hey, some guy that makes, had some role in that game also has a
Hmm.
role in my favorite TV show. And she's like, I have no idea what any of that is.
That's
Yeah, but we still bonded. It was still important to me.
good. The fun fact is that, and the thing is, this one is widely known, is that the bending um, elements are based off of four real life traditional martial arts. Sifu Kisu came in and assigned, they were early on in development, and he kind of assigned different fighting styles and techniques to the different bending elements. So air bending based off of Bagua, earth bending is based off of Tiger Crane, Hungar, type of Tiger Crane. Water bending, that's of Tai Chi, which you can clearly really see from the bending. It's probably the most obvious one. And then fire bending is based off of Northern Shaolin. I don't know that on that well, but it provides such a distinct bending element to all of their to the animation, that just kind of everything really made the world feel lived. Really love specifically that Toph was different and she used praying mantis, and then because also the original Yellow Power Ranger Trini also used praying mantis. And I remember that episode just so vividly as a little kid because the monster of the week was a praying mantis.
That's awesome. I was gonna make my third fun fact. I was gonna be something about Grey Delisle being just like in everything, but I can't even do it
Mm.
justice. So just go to Wikipedia and look at Grey Delisle. And instead, I'm gonna do my third. Seriously, she's not just is she in everything, but she is everybody in everything. I'm looking at
Yeah.
like some of these right now where like in Foster Home for Imaginary Friends, she has like 50 credits
Yeah.
under that show alone. But no, you just got to go look
Oh
at that one
gosh,
instead.
but real quick, like she will probably be on. I can't wait. She'll probably be on the Brave New Elements episode one. So probably like two episodes because they only got one more episode in season one left.
And And as soon as you hear her voice, if you're like me, I don't pay good attention to this stuff. I don't know this stuff. But then as soon as you hear her voice, you're instantly like childhood right away. It punches you right in the
Yeah.
face, and it's great. But no, I can't do it justice. So you just got to go to Wikipedia and look up Grey Delisle, and it's all the fun facts you need. Chris, instead, my fun fact is going to be that talking with you and having this podcast with you and our friendship over the years, I could no longer watch any show where there's any pair of friends without putting us mentally and superimposing us into those roles. And it's never clear. There's always some crossover. It's never like you're distinctly one and I'm distinctly the other one. I mean, there's cases where it'll be like a white person and a black person, but personality-wise, they're still
Yeah.
like, well, you're this part of
Obviously.
that and that part of me. But whether it's Troy and Abed, because right now I'm going through a community phase, it's the comfort food of TV shows, Scrubs, Psych, Brooklyn Nine-Nine with Charles and Jake, like every single TV show that has any like duo, I'm like, that's kind of Chris and this is kind of me, except when they're like this, in which case that's kind of me and this is kind of Chris. And that's my first reaction when I'm watching TV shows, is if there's like any kind of buddy duo pair, my first reaction is to superimpose ourselves onto that pair. I would
I
say
think
I would
think
say
that's valid.
Community is my
I think I do that.
yeah, I would say Community is my favorite. But there's that one has like the most crossover where it's like, oh well, yeah, Chris is Troy because he's black. I was okay, fine. But there's like certain pieces where you're definitely Abed and I'm definitely Troy, and then there's certain pieces where you're definitely Troy and definitely
Yeah.
Abed, and it crosses over a lot. But just because I'm in a community phase right now, so less of a fun fact, more of a thing that Shawn just does is that every time I watch a TV show, that's like an instant thing that my brain jumps to. I would say that's probably a compliment. Someday we'll just go through all the TV shows. There's a duo pair. We'll just be like, no, this is
Oh.
definitively Chris, and that's definitively Shawn for every prominent TV show ever. No, that's not true. Just comedies.
Yes.
Actually, everything I named was a comedy.
Yeah. Well, hey Arnold. I don't know which. That has two people, Gerald and Arnold. Fun fact: his last name is actually Shortman.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know. I
you
did
ever
not.
see his grandpa, like, so his grandpa will call
Hmm?
him Short Man all the time,
No,
right?
I mean, yeah,
And
I just
turns
recently
out
learned
his
that
last
now.
name, that's why he calls him Short Man, not just because he's short, because his last name is Short Man.
I
Then if you
mean,
don't find that out until Hey Arnold the movie, I think his parents are alive.
oh, snap. I
Yeah,
mean, I think I'm more of an Arnold, but there again, that just feels like a shallow reaction. But I
yeah,
think I'm
sure.
more of an Arnold and you're more of a Gerald. Maybe not. But hey, if you watch TV shows, let us know which people you think we are. And no, more importantly, let us know your fun facts, because between now and then, we got to come up with some trivia.
Oh
And
yeah.
we're happy to have any suggestions. Or if, hey, man, if you tell something that Chris doesn't know, I'll be very impressed. Like my suspicion is that Chris will be like, "Oh, that's a good idea." But if you say something where Chris is like, "I had no idea," I will be
Mm.
pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly
Ooh, yeah,
surprised.
please try to stomach me.
Yeah, if you can stump Chris, we'll absolutely shout you out, or whatever kind of shout out you need. So
And I will be honest.
yeah, that's not a huge concern, Chris. I have not thought of a time when you've been deceitful for the sake of knowledge. I know that putting on our free YouTube podcast for 200 weekly viewers is a position of high pressure. Forces some shady behavior. No, let us know if you stump Chris. He will be honest. We will happily shout you out if you say something he doesn't know. We'll both be probably somewhat surprised. So let us know if you're in Kansas City at the time. Chris, I don't know if we can like live stream from within the con. I don't know if they have rules or whatever, but we'll at least go
I
learn
know.
about what the rules might be for like live streaming out of our panel. It's probably not allowed, but I'll at least check into it. And so you could join us
Yeah,
digitally if it's not allowed.
email that guy that he sent me some. Didn't have rules or anything. He just more of a update type of deal.
Yeah, so I'll find out some guidelines. I didn't think about that till just now, but that would be kind of a cool deal. A cool deal, at least to have recorded and snip up later, presuming they allow that to some degree. So, hey, thanks, Chris, for doing
Yeah,
a short
it's
episode. Thank you all for your patience with us. Be back to normal next week. In the meantime, I'm Shawn. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek. And thanks for watching Avatar: The Last Podcasters. We appreciate it.